Let's talk about MSF. Let's talk about all of us. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things Scottie does. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Like and subscribe.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About It. Joining us today, the one and only ValleyFlyin. Are you ready to smash it, brother?
I am ready. Are you ready to smash it?
I don't know. I'm just happy you're wearing a hoodie today. I feel like it makes me look bigger, not having your bulging biceps in the screen. I feel much more masculine than I would be otherwise.
They're not that big. It's just, I don't know. I work out a lot, so they're kind of cut, so they look bigger than they are. They're not that big.
I don't know. So have you ever measured them? Are they like 18-inch pythons?
Back in my 20s when I was into that stuff, yeah, but not anytime recently.
All right, well, let's get into it, brother.
Okay.
So again, thank you for joining me today. Been trying to put this together for a while.
Our schedules haven't lined up until today.
I wanted to get you on happy hour because I was told by I think it was Rim told me that you actually like to drink every now and then, and that you would probably be interested in the happy hour. And so I reached out, and you were like, absolutely, I'd love to be on happy hour. When is it? And I was like, 11 p.m. And you went, no, I'm not going to do that. so I'm glad.
A little too late for me to be recording, man. I don't think I want to be recording that late.
But yeah, so I appreciate you coming on. And we've got this new show that we're doing, and I'm not a big YouTube guy, but I'm trying.
Nice.
We've got this going on, and this is just to sort of get to know a little bit about you. I know Marvel Strike Force wasn't the first game that you did, right? Like you did a few games before Marvel Strike Force.
Yeah. So I was playing. What was it called? Marvel's Avengers Alliance Part 2. So I guess the first one was on Facebook. The second one was a mobile game. I was like, oh, this is a new game. And because I was already doing a YouTube channel for fitness, because I was a personal trainer, so I was doing fitness videos and nutrition videos, things like that. I was like, maybe I'll make some videos on this and monetize, and I could pay for some in-game purchases. And that channel took off. I was like, oh, this is taking off faster than the videos that it's taking me like a week to make one video. It's like I could make a video in a day, and it's like, way more people are watching it. And then that game shut down, so I was like, oh, there's nothing to cover now, because I started playing Marvel Future Fight then. Yeah. And I was so far behind. I was watching the videos. I was in no position to make videos. And then I started playing Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes again. And I was watching Mobile Gamer's video, and then he came out with a video. It's like, oh, there's this new Marvel game, but it's really bad. I was like, oh, that sucks. And then a month later, he came out with this. They made some changes. This game is good, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. So I started playing this game. Yeah. I was like, all right, when it comes to global launch, I'll start up my channel again, because it'll be a new game. And then I did that, and it kind of grew from there.
Yeah. So and to that point, so you're I don't know if you are an OG content creator for Marvel Strike Force, but you're definitely one of them.
I am. I started right at global launch. I wasn't doing it during beta, but as soon as global launch started, I was like, all right, day one, let's make some videos.
And sort of the rest is history. I mean, you are a fixture in everybody's mouth in this game. Everybody knows who you are.
I hope in the good, and not so much in the bad.
Well, I guess it depends on the time of day of week,
Who you're asking. Right.
No, but for the most part, I've never heard anybody say anything bad about you, so I think that's a good thing.
That's good, right?
Yeah, I mean you sort of developed a reputation as a really positive content creator, and honestly, I drew a lot from that when I initially started doing this, because I'm not a very negative guy. I'm a super happy-go-lucky, positive dude. I'm silly. I'm a big fan of fart jokes and Squattie Potties, but at the same time, at the same time, it's all in good fun. I'm never malicious. I do this sort of for my mental health, and that's sort of why I got into this, and it just sort of exploded into way more than I ever thought it would be. But for you in particular, like I said, I drew a lot of inspiration off of your content because you were more of the happy-go-lucky, positive, family-friendly stuff. Maybe not so much the family-friendly part for me, but at least the happy-go-lucky part. And now, but sort of leading into that, sort of changed the last few months from the standpoint of there's definitely more. I don't want to say negative content, but like aggressive content towards Scopely and towards the game that didn't used to be there.
I would say the last few months. Maybe there was a period, probably maybe September through November, that it was like mostly negative content.
Yeah, so it's definitely not mostly negative content, but I think there just sort of wasn't negative content, and then we got to see a little bit of that from you, and I'm curious and that'll sort of get into our conversation later. Like, do you remember what that first point was that sort of pushed you over the edge?
It was a lot of blitzing. We had to do a lot of blitzing at the time, and when we have events that we have to do a lot of blitzing, I really don't like the game.
Yeah,
because I'm like, oh, I gotta log in. When we have events that we don't have to blitz a lot, I like the game a lot. And I think at that time we had a lot of events that were blitz, and I wasn't happy with the game. Yeah, and they reduced those events. I'm like, oh, I'm actually having fun now. This is fun. So. That changed. I'm not sure what brought that on exactly, but it's just a lot of times it's the blitz events that do that for me.
Yeah, so I was in a similar situation over the summer where there was just all these blitz events going on, just one after another, and I was losing my mind because it's the one thing about the game that I despise. Yeah. Well, as far as gameplay, there's a few things that I'm not happy with.
Yeah, I got you.
But as far as gameplay goes, the blitzing is definitely the least enjoyable for me. So I just sort of changed my thought process towards all of it and the way those events worked. And I was just like, you know what? If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. But I'm not going to do something I don't want to do. That sort of made a huge improvement into how I was feeling about the game, because I was sort of letting a lot of the salt that was out there get to me, and once I sort of changed that mindset, that helped a lot for me. But you say that sort of so you specifically said like that November time frame where you put out some salt videos, we'll call them.
Well, I just wasn't enjoying the game at that time.
Well,
there was a period, and
what changed that?
If you look, I'm not sure. I was like, we're not blitzing a lot. These events are actually pretty good. They seem like they're listening.
Yeah.
And that kind of changed my perception. This is the complaints that we had months ago, and they do say that it takes a while to get through the pipeline. I'm like, I remember we complaining about this, and then another thing, and I was like, oh, they're actually listening. It just takes them a while to do stuff. And when I felt that, I was like, all right, I'm actually having a little more fun, and we're not having to grind, and the events weren't as bad as before. So I just enjoyed the game a little bit more.
Okay. And I
stopped caring as much about red star pools. I see chat mentioning all the bad red star pools that I've had and all the rage. I've got some bad ones. I haven't got as mad as before. Red star pools either.
So I watch a lot of your daytime stream. I'm a lurker in your daytime stream. I'll typically watch it as soon as I get to work. So I have to lurk because I'm on conference calls and stuff like that. But watching your daytime stream, I watch your chat sort of walk you off a cliff on a lot of recommendations for in Scourge and Crucible.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
At some point, I don't
think they're doing it on purpose. I think they're trying to give good advice, and maybe they're playing things at different power levels, and it just doesn't work at the power level I'm at. So I don't know. It happens.
I just want to warn you: be careful, because I'm not as confident in chat as you are.
They're certain chatters like, oh, he says that. All right, I'm gonna do that. And others, I'm like, I just read them. Like, oh,
Yeah.
who was that from? Oh, shoot, I should have watched who that was from.
Yeah, if I don't have if I don't have extreme confidence, there's like a solid 5 names that are regularly in my chat that if they make a recommendation, I'll do it. Outside of those 5 names, I'm like, we'll look into that, but just not right now.
Yeah, so I should censor a little bit more what goes into the actual gameplay.
Yeah. I don't like maybe like those people mark them as your put the little diamond beside them. That way it pops up in your chat.
Suspicious. Anytime there's a bad recommendation, suspicious user.
Suspicious user. Ban.
Yeah, really cool. Just don't follow the recommendations for the gameplay. Suspicious.
So also wanted to talk a little bit about the Envoy program. So you've been, were you one of the initial envoys?
Yeah.
So you've been in it for a long time, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of an understatement.
All of it.
So in the last year and a half, there's been a lot of change in the Envoy program. There has. A lot of people going in, a lot of people going out. And it hasn't been super stable, and there's been varying degrees and opinions and perspectives as to why that is. And I'm not curious about the people that have gone in or out of the Envoy program, but I'm curious how comfortable you are with the state of the Envoy program. Like, is there anything in particular that you would like to see done or taken away? That really stands out.
There's a lot that could be done, but my expectation is 0. For the longest time they had an Envoy program and we would get nothing. We didn't get communication. We got some PNGs and there was nothing. So my expectation is 0. So I'm not frustrated with the Envoy program. If they give me some good PNGs for my thumbnails, I'm like, this is fine. This is better than not communicating with them. But I think I can't speak for all the envoys. Everybody has their own frustrations, but it seems like the envoys that get frustrated and leave are the ones that want something more out of the program. They want change done to the game and expect that the program's not going to be done that way. But I've done that for a few months, and initially I'm like, this is not happening. They're not making changes. They're not listening as much as we think they are, or our messages aren't being communicated from the CMs to the devs and all that stuff. So I was like, all right, this is not what the program is. Let's just take it for what it is. And sometimes it does get done. And I'm like, it's a pleasant surprise, but I'm not expecting that. If it gets done, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But if it doesn't, I'm like, all right.
Yeah. So as far as the bug reporting and stuff like that, I know that's not really what the Envoy program is really designed for. It's essentially a communication tool, right? Like it's something that's designed to help the game and to help the streamers or the content creators to put videos out, to put content out. At least that's sort of my basic understanding of it.
I think it's just to communicate with the players to the devs and the devs back to the players. A lot of times we get messaging out before it's out, and it gets like worded differently and things like that, so it goes publicly differently. And then just our concerns, a lot of times there is a lot of bug reporting. There's a lot of envoys that are like on at every reset. I'm like, hey, this is not working. They're really diligent about reporting things. And a lot of times that is how the devs actually know that there's problems. So I think that's a positive thing there. But it's relying on the players and stuff to do the work that the devs should have done in the first place by testing their game, so that's, I don't know. That's kind of what it is. And there's players that are happy to do it. We've always said, on Reddit, hey, if there's just someone that would test the game and do this stuff, there's a lot of people that would be wanting to do it. And I guess they're leaving up to envoys to do that part for some of the things.
So recently, last thing I want to touch on is recently you're into MMA, right? So that's something that you enjoy doing as a hobby.
Viewing MMA, jujitsu,
no specifically. Okay,
no striking. Yeah, just grappling,
okay.
I don't want to take any headshots.
What happened? So you recently hurt both of your hands.
So I had a cyst in both middle fingers actually, and
really?
One was causing the nail to bend, So every time I would grab somebody's gi, I would get caught and risk gripping it off. So like, oh, I just have to let go of that grip. The other one was filling with joint fluid, so I'd like put a needle in there to try to drain it, and it's this clear gel that was popping out. And then so I talked to the dermatologist. He's like, yeah, that's joint fluid. I'm not touching that. You got to go see a specialist. And then when they looked at it, it was 2 cysts both in there, causing different things. So they removed those. So that's what happened recently.
Okay, so I'm thinking
it was more preventative than.
Yeah, no. So when it happened, I'm like, oh my god, like somebody like stomped on both of his hands in a match or something. Like what the? So,
no, it was just I guess wear and tear. I guess gripping too hard in my first year of jiu-jitsu.
This is only your first year of jiu-jitsu?
No, this is my 4th year, but I've played other sports, and other sports, when something doesn't work, you go harder. In jiu-jitsu, you try to find a different angle, go a different way. But it takes a few years to understand that. So when stuff wasn't working, I'd go harder, and I'm like, oh, this grip doesn't work. Oh, grip it harder. So I teared up my fingers a little bit in the first year.
Okay, all right.
The surgery was a result of all those mistakes back then.
All right. Well, that's all I got for the interview part. We're not going to talk about your dirty chumming days.
Thank you.
Those are behind you. I feel everybody's talked about them at this point and thrown your
my
your
opponent yesterday.
Habits.
I had a tournament yesterday. My opponent actually said, I couldn't find any of your matches online, but I found you on Baywatch. I was like, I was watching your matches. I couldn't. Then he said, "Well, I couldn't find any of yours, but I saw your Baywatch clip. I saw you on MTV." Like, oh, jeez.
All right. So thank you again for joining. We're gonna go over to our panel discussion now. We'll be back right after a word from our sponsor, guys. Amazing transition.
Who's the sponsor?
Oh, I don't have a sponsor.
Oh, okay.
I tried to get Screwball Whiskey, but they stopped returning my calls.
That would be good.
I was shooting for either Screwball Whiskey or Squattie Pottie.
I love your sponsor. I love your sponsor.
Yeah, I'm a big Squattie Pottie fan. And
Nice.
Speaking of Squattie Pottie, joining us today, none other than Squattie Pottie Scottie to talk with us about the state of Marvel Strike Force. So, Scottie, thank you for being here, buddy. How you doing? You are definitely on mute.
100% muted.
I'm good. How are you?
This is what happens with a pro streamer, guys. This is what happens with a pro streamer. I make sure everybody's set up and in place. Also joining us today, none other than Way Too Raw for You. Thank you, Way Too Raw, for being here. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, so fun story. About 10 minutes before this started, I sent Way Too Raw a message. I was like, hey, girl, how you doing? And she's like, oh, just doing homework. And I'm like, great. You want to be on my show? She goes, yeah, absolutely. When is it? 5 minutes?
Yes. That's why I'm rocking the sweatshirt.
Hey, we're matching.
Yes.
Sweatshirts.
Everybody's got a hoodie on except for me and Sin.
That was a mistake. I can fix that right now.
Rip off the sleeve, Sen.
And SenRaven, thank you again so much for joining us. Another one of the other OG content creators on Marvel Strike Force, Twitch specifically.
Yes.
Sen, have you done any YouTube content, or has it just been Twitch?
I have a few videos up. They're far and few in between. Recently I put up a couple of clips for Crucible when it's a decent, interesting match. Otherwise, it's like, what's the point of putting it up? I had a few from before, like some requests from back in the day, like people wanted to see how Black Order would go through Dark Dimension 4, I think it was. Yeah. So it was like a full run with Black Order to showcase it once it was a video, once it was available. So but that's like, I don't particularly enjoy doing YouTube stuff. I don't actually edit or have the time for it. So.
Oh, I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, make no mistake about it. I have no clue. Like I hit record. I hope I hit record, and then I hit end record, and then I load it on YouTube, and I'm done. I'm done. One-stop shop, baby. One-stop shop. That's how I roll. If it's good, bonus. If it's not, but super glad that you're here, Sen, because there's something in particular. I know we want to get on to the round table, but for you in particular, I just want to make a clarifying point. You know, I know you get a lot of slack out there. You got a lot of people.
Where are you going
you,
with this?
You got a lot of people out there calling you the
Sounds
the
like
wish,
a compliment coming.
The wish Rim and X that you know, that you stole Rim's look, and I would just like to make a point. Like, you were here first. Like, technically, he stole your look.
Okay, first of all, I was here first. Second of all, it's white and bald. How are you gonna steal that look?
I mean, it's been, well, clearly we can see that Rim did it. And then flip the table.
That's a way
on
of
you.
life, damn it.
Yeah. Also, happy birthday, Rim. I hope you're feeling better, buddy.
Happy birthday, Ram.
Happy birthday.
All right.
Didn't send him a Discord message.
Oh, that's okay. Now you know. Right. So he won't
go
see this.
Right,
he doesn't watch me.
He doesn't watch.
Okay. Thank goodness.
He was my first guest. After that, he tuned out. All right, so wanted to take this week, and there's a lot of topics to discuss, quite frankly. But this week in particular, we got a new patch. You know, we got the road to apocalypse in front of us. We know the final part of that. We know at least all the pieces needed for that. And we've got a lot of new events, and some that aren't super popular with a lot of the community. We've got a level cap increase. There's so much going on, and just to sort of wrap it all up into one bundle, just sort of get to the state of the game for Marvel Strike Force right now. Most of these videos are pretty happy-go-lucky, upbeat. Hopefully we can find a way to spin it, but there's quite a bit of stuff that folks aren't happy with, and I'm gonna hold off on Scottie because I know he's got a lot to say. Sen, why don't we start off with you as far as state of the game, because you play like 74 different accounts.
75. Please get it right.
So that's a lot of commitment for somebody that is salty with the game. So I'm assuming you don't have a lot of saltiness in you. But at the same time, I'm sure there's something.
Not too much. I mean, there's always problems, right? Things can always improve. Things are, like Valley was talking about earlier. There's something wrong all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like anytime there's a patch.
That's the game we play. That's the game we
exactly,
play.
Right?
We know it. We know it's not.
But we know it's going to happen. So as long as it's not like completely game breaking, which they've had before as well.
Yeah. Not in a while. That was what it was like. The game was down for like 14 hours or something. It's not like about this time last year. Something like I can't play at all. Then I'm mostly fine with it. I wish there was some changes. I wish they were better at testing. I wish there was some features that they would add that we've been talking about for a while now. You know, we'll throw it up as an idea. And it's like, why is this not in the game? Like somebody will come up with a stupid idea and be like, wait, but that's not a stupid idea. This should be in a game. Why is it not in here? Yeah. So hopefully stuff like, sim all for Blitz. Nobody wants to do 45, 46 Blitz teams rotation. Yeah. We had 25 and they gave us a sim option because it was taking 45 minutes to do a Blitz rotation when it was 25 teams. Yeah. Nobody wants to Blitz with 45 teams. Sim all for Blitz. Maybe sim all for War if people want that or not. I want an auto start to raids. Let me set a timer for if there's tickets available, auto start the damn raid for me. Yeah. Help the leaders out. Do something with tracking tickets, stuff like that. Because like right now, everybody's tickets, if you're in different time zones, they all reset at different times. I don't know if somebody got enough tickets for the day down or not, and it's really hard to track. But for the most part, there's no like giant problems. They're like, I can't play this. Yeah. So they've been they've had them, but they fixed them, and they've been doing all right. And we're getting good characters, we're getting decent characters, and we know we have characters on the back burner. They're like, if something really goes wrong, they're gonna bring in Nightcrawler. Yeah, no, I agree. All those points that you added on. For me in particular, I think I know this is strange to say. I'm sort of okay with the bugs, and that's from the standpoint of it's a constantly in development game. Like a game that's constantly being updated and improved and added to, there's going to be bugs in all those games. I've never played a game that didn't have bugs. A lot of my big issues come down to the events and to quality control issues. Like constantly seeing offers with the wrong orbs. Like I don't know how you missed that up. Seeing what was it, like $399 offer a couple weeks ago for or a couple months ago. That was like nobody knew if it was real or not. Like is this real? Like that people thought that could be real is sort of terrifying.
I really want to know if anybody actually tried to buy that.
Oh God. So there's a lot of little things, but quality control issues and events and whatnot. So we're gonna go over to Valley real quick. So what about you? What stands out with you?
I don't like the time changes that they do.
Yeah.
The one thing that every time we have a daylight saving time and it switches over, I always miss stuff because I get used to doing that, and I'm like, oh, it's a different time now. So and then they just changed over the store refreshes and everything like that. And now for me, it's not as convenient, but for some people, it's more convenient. You know what I've been suggesting for a long time in there? Every time we get the daylight savings change over is to like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. They let you change your time zone 2 times a year.
Yeah.
I know they don't want us to do it unlimited times, but 2 times a year, they should add that in Marvel Strike Force. And that was something that was in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes while Marvel Strike Force was still in beta.
Yeah.
So that's like a little change that annoys me. But obviously there's the bigger things like you guys mentioned, the quality control issues. Milestones, I think they just kind of are what they are. I think the bar was set in years 1, 2, 3 where milestones you could finish them. Year 4, there was clearly that line, nope, you can't finish them. They're going to be a lot more stuff in them, but to complete this stuff, you're going to have to start to pay. So I would prefer it the old way. You got that, the pride and accomplishment from doing all the events. You're like, oh, I got all of them.
Yeah.
And then just have those more as offers, but clearly it's working for them. They're making more money that way, or they would shift it back to the old way. So I think that's just how the events are going to be from now on. So I think getting upset about it at this point when it's been like that for a year is, whatever at this point. But then as far as character offers, we've gotten used to 4 and 5 star character unlocks, and now they're shifting to 3. So that's, I think, another change that is coming with that, and that's kind of the norm now. We've complained about it. A lot of times they complain, they listen. This is something that they're not budging on. So this is kind of how the game's going to be now.
Yeah, no. So what you just touched on, the leaderboards, right? So like leaderboards are not new to Marvel Strike Force. Like I think there's a little bit of a misconception that like leaderboards just became a thing. Like leaderboards have always been in the game. You just couldn't see them. Yeah. And so being able to see them is what turns it into an auction. Like that's what a lot of the content creators have been sort of trying to rail against, but that ship done sailed. I mean, like we know for a fact that the leaderboard drives sales, being able to see that. That's why other games do it. That's why MSF is doing it. It's here. It's here. And the one good thing about leaderboards is it does make it more doable to find the cheaters and whatnot, because without them, like people would be cheating left and right and just nobody would ever know. Like
I think that gets reported pretty well.
Yeah. So the way too raw. What about you? For as far as state of the game, like how are you enjoying Marvel Strike Force? Is it what are you enjoying? What aren't you?
I always have a difference of opinion than most people. I like the game. I don't have an issue with the game. Blitz could be retired or get a Blitz all, but I feel like if you're going to get a Blitz all, you might as well just retire that mode. But otherwise, I still have fun. I think the bugs are fun. I love when Scopely messes up. I get a good laugh out of it. I don't know about offers because I'm free to play, so you guys would have more to say on that than me. I don't even look at offers. I forget offers are in the game, to be honest.
Do you remember to go claim your free rewards?
If someone You mean like at the store?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
I
web
go.
store.
I unfortunately go to the web store for that. Yes.
Yeah,
I boycotted that for a long time.
Well, so I'm glad that they put the free offers at the top. I think it makes it much quicker to just grab it.
That was good.
So that's a little thing that they changed that I actually think was an improvement. I wish they would have told everybody, because I'm relatively certain I did not get one day, because I scrolled down to the bottom thinking that I already claimed them.
There was quite a number of posts and comments saying, "Hey, what happened? I don't have any freebies today," and everybody's like, "No, it's at the top now."
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I missed a day. But honestly, I don't think you have a different opinion, as different an opinion, Way Too Raw, as you might think. I think most people are in your boat. Most people that play the game. I think the people that watch a lot of content creation are those that have the strongest opinion and see the problems and really invest into the problem and that it needs to be fixed. And those that just play the game and don't watch YouTube, don't watch Twitch, I don't know that they know there's anything wrong. And just from a pure number perspective, like, we see what the numbers are on YouTube, we see what the numbers are on Twitch. There's a lot of people that watch, but it's a minority. It's a small minority of the game.
They're the
as far
loudest
as total
ones.
Players. Well,
Yeah.
no, that's Reddit, and Reddit's evil. Yeah, Reddit's evil. Now, I wanna slide up to Squattie Pottie Scottie now. Recently, Dorky Dad put out a video. I believe it was titled "I'm Losing My Best Friend." And it was very, very aggressive, Canadian aggressive. He apologized at the end. And he was obviously very sad. I know he and you are very close. It's unfortunate that you don't have better friends, but that's neither here nor there. That's something that we're working on, and I'm curious. I think we might have a special announcement to be made today. Was Dorky Dad telling the truth, or is Dorky Dad a liar?
Hold on, can you give me some context here? What are you guys referring to here? What is going on? Can you give me the Cliff Notes version of what's happening?
Oh, so Dorky Dad put out a video, and so Squattie had Scottie. Your IGN in Discord is probably already changed.
This is the first time meeting you. It's gonna be Squattie Pottie. I'm sorry, man. Dorky put out a video, and basically, because of the event that's going on now and some other events, Scottie decided that he was going to step down, that he didn't want to do it anymore, that he was going to step down. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's sort of my basic understanding of it. And now from the game,
because from the game. And he's in Dorky's Alliance, so he's 43 mil TCP. Definitely not doesn't consider himself a Kraken, but definitely falls into the whale category.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. And he was just sort of over it. And so now I want to give him an opportunity to sort of express for himself in his own words, and then confirm whether or not Dorky Dad is a liar.
Dorky Dad was not a liar at the time.
At the time.
I was having a bad week, and I had made that decision. But Mutiny were very nice enough to let us win a 60 million punch-up on them on Friday night. So I reconsidered my enjoyment of the game. I'm going to change how I play the game a bit and just try to find the fun again.
Wow.
So, and a big shout out to Mutiny for buying your conviction. That is, you Mutiny buys a lot of offers in the game. Little did anyone know that they also buy the happiness of other alliances members. That's awesome. That's amazing. And, confirmed right now that Dorky Dad is a liar. But what got you into that frame of mind? No, I love Dorky Dad, but he's a liar.
I think over the past I don't know, 4 months, things have just been like I'm a sweaty tryhard. Like I do spend a bit, but I do try hard at a lot of events. Like I like Blitz because I like that I can grind my way through 8 rotations a day. And get that. Like I liked the Hulkbuster event because like I could actually just blitz as much as I wanted to get more orb fragments for him so I could get him to 6 stars just from that. Like I like that kind of stuff, but I do also spend some money where I feel it's appropriate. And it just felt like the gap between me and the people that just would drop hundreds, a day kind of a thing was getting bigger. And I think Zombie Iron Man was like the first real realization, like, wow, this is purely like like you have to buy him to even play with him, which really sucks, I think, or at least have him at a level to play with him. And then really the last couple weeks, like this double gold spending events and then leading to a milestone event for your alliance where there's obviously very big rewards up for grabs, and you're in an alliance like Super Troopers that everybody wants to compete and there's people that spend, and then I felt like, well, I'm not going to spend on that level to compete with Legion and Onslaught. Like we're not going to be at that level. It just got very frustrating. So I think I just had a culmination of things hit me, but then at the same time just remembering the game can be fun if you just accept that you can't complete the events. And I think that was a hard thing because usually these events were things you could complete and there were offers you could buy like to get extra stuff, which is fine, but now they're making it so you have the FOMO of not completing it, so then you want to buy offers to get these things, and those are basically offers. So I wish, like Valley said, they would go back to just making the events completable and then put whatever they want as the extras in extra offers. So like if the whales and krakens want to buy that, then that's great. But they're trying to give us FOMO, and I feel like there's a lot of calculation in what they're doing, and it just feels very, I don't know, just unhealthy and mean a little bit. And I think I just got very frustrated by that, unfortunately. I feel like I can't hear anything anymore.
I can't hear either.
Because nobody was saying anything.
Is this just
Okay. I somehow
muted himself.
I somehow muted myself. Pro streamer. No, so I agree with what you're saying. Like,
it's a very touching moment. Everybody's
one
super
video.
quiet.
Yeah. So I think like what you brought up a lot of really valid points, and in particular that sort of that gap, that bridge that's being put out there between the all levels of gameplay. So there's always going to be a level of difference between those that spend and those that don't. And now there's multiple gaps out there. So you've got your free to play to your normal spenders, and then you've got another massive gap from your spenders to your krakens. And it can get to a very dangerous point in the game, because at the end of the day, all three groups are critically important to the success of the game. None of this game exists without every level of player in the game. And especially a game that's constantly developing, constantly going up, has the Marvel IP, you have to have that investment from your krakens and from your whales, that sort of keep the change and the good stuff coming. But you also have to have the free to play to keep the numbers up so that you can entice new players to come over and maybe become whales and krakens and whatnot. And not for nothing, seeing free to play players in the top alliances gives new free to play players something to want for. Are new free to play players ever going to get into those top alliances? No. You're talking day one players that are dirty blitzers and all that other stuff. But at least gives them gives them something to shoot for. Eventually they'll get up there, but it takes time. Now, that being said, so there's a lot that needs to be worked on, but we got a lot of good stuff going on. And as far as state of game goes, I think war is in the best place it's ever been. And what are y'all's thoughts on that? Like, is anybody not enjoying war right now? I got a lot of different levels of play here.
I'm very casual with war. My alliance is very casual.
We're super casual.
That makes it more enjoyable than when I was hardcore.
Sin,
At
with
least
your
for me.
47?
At least for me.
I like that they changed up the energy thing on it. I don't like that they increased the amount of attacks you have to do.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I've been enjoying it to a certain degree because we're not like super heavy, but we're also not casual. We try to get the wins.
And it's relatively easy to be casual though, right? Because the rewards sort of suck. Like they're not.
Yeah.
I mean, they're okay.
We're very much a late push alliance.
Yeah.
It'll be like the last 2 hours, and I'll tag on Discord like, "Hey guys, 2 hours left in war," and you'll see like all of a sudden like 12 attacks go in.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to watch, especially like when I get to stream it like Sunday morning. I can just see everybody go in at the same time, and it's really cool to see. Otherwise, it's kind of like, all right, if we win, we win. If we don't win, like whatever. Just get your attacks in, have some fun.
Yeah, have fun.
Try out some weird teams if you can. Don't do stuff like we did this morning.
Yeah, Scottie. You guys are taking down Mutiny, destroying them, practically.
Didn't destroy them.
Rip them apart. But in all fairness, like your alliance has a super unique mix of sweaty tryhard whales, really. I don't know, like y'all have, like y'all might have a couple Krakens, but like it's more just super sweaty whales, right?
Well, I think the big thing for us is we have people that spend, but those people that spend also try hard. Like they're practicing war attacks, they're in voice chat during war, and for us, like war is more of like a social aspect too. Like everyone gets in voice chat usually for the first hour or two. We hang out with Dorky on his stream, and I didn't used to like war until I joined Super Troopers like a year ago.
Yeah.
Like Super Troopers 1.0, I guess. And war was social, and then
that was the first alliance that Dorky killed, right?
Dorky didn't kill it.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard.
But every alliance I had been in before then, like they didn't get in voice chat. Like counters, we were using like the counter bot. Like there was just no.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was no team there. It was just people getting attacked in and trying to come in. Yeah.
What a great tool that was horribly used by everyone that used it.
But the war meta has shifted. Like I think when Darkhold was on defense and there was nothing else, that was a frustrating time for a lot of alliances because trying to take out Dormhold was just super frustrating. Yeah. And then there was a shift. Yes, Gamma came out. Gamma was super annoying. Of course, they made it like not specifically offense, related. But then we have been able to shift a lot, so we feel like we have lots of offense and it's fun again. And then it's more just like coming up with ways to make Heroes for Hire suck for everyone, no matter what you use, and make Dark Hunters, not usable anymore, basically.
Yeah. So it's your fault.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't do it. It was not like, we've had a few iterations, but I feel like Mobile Gamer is responsible for the latest where pretty much you have to weapon exit or Infinity Watch it now.
Big shout out to Mobile Gamer for making my Heroes for Hire great again.
Big jerk. I absolutely hate that team, and I absolutely loved having 4 teams that I could just be like, okay, I'm just killing Heroes for Hire today. All right, 3 different accounts. All I'm doing is killing Heroes for Hire with all the war attacks.
All right, so last topic to really go about is Cosmic Crucible. So we're a couple weeks into Cosmic Crucible. I think there was a huge concern that nothing was going to be able to take out Wakanda. Turns out, plain old Darkhold works just fine. Pretty much everybody thought this was going to be a 5. Basically, it was going to be a 5 attack Crucible. and who could do better in those 5 attacks until we got Masters of Evil. So now we know Masters of Evil are coming, and Masters of Evil look great. But don't particularly need them. Darkhold does just fine there. So Masters of Evil, I think, will fix some efficiency issues. So obviously people will be building, the tryhards for Crucible. But as far as Crucible goes, I'm really enjoying this season. I love that I don't see a lot of people turtling. I feel like people are going the more efficient route. I think people tried to turtle the first week, found out it didn't really work without having... apparently those massive boosts to mutant really pushed those mutant teams up to a level that turtling was much more doable. But I'm loving the season of Crucible. Way Too Raw. How are you liking it?
I like it. I was very busy when Crucible kind of first came.
Yeah.
And I honestly I only had 1 or 2 tricky defenses, and the rest was hand.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. I still managed to win. I still managed to level up, but I was at a very low level compared to everybody else in this chat. But I had a lot of fun with it, and this time I can actually put on a full defense, and I don't have any issues clearing, so I don't know. I like Crucible.
Yeah. And it's fun to play, and there's good rewards, right? So, Sin, what are you how are you liking it?
I like the season thing.
Yeah.
Switching it up from time to time is a good thing. The previous season definitely went too long, even without them extending it by a month. I think it was a month too long before they extended it by a month. Maybe 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. Do something different.
Yeah.
I really like that option. I like that option for raids as well. The way they had it with the Gambit raid, I like that option. It was kind of a little mishandled. But the availability of modifications for these events is really good. You're right. MOE is probably not going to be needed. People will get it, but they do serve the purpose of, if they're going to be the key team to take that out, you got your Darkhold for something else.
Yeah.
You don't have to use Doom Force or whatever else for other locations. It does give you the efficiency on other rooms as well.
Yeah.
But overall, I get to see it from like 2 different angles, because the two, one, for those that have seen me play it, I have 3 accounts up. The left and the right are lower.
Yeah.
I haven't even updated the defenses on those for this season. So I get to see some tryhards on that, but mostly like super casual on those 2 accounts. Yeah. And then on mine, I get to see slightly higher end, not like Prince or Purple get it, because they got up to Masters. I got up to like Diamond 3 or something. I don't want to be anywhere near Masters. But I still get to see slightly higher up on the level. So I get to see it from two different spots of it. And it's been fun just being able to run through, try to figure out what teams go where, and kind of line up what I'm going to do for the 6 attacks and see how well it's going to work or not.
Yeah. Yeah. And Scottie, what about you?
I like the season a lot better. I think they really need to start hiding the score and what your opponent uses against you until the end, though.
Yeah.
Because I am tired of having to wait, or feeling like I have to wait until an hour or half hour before it ends the next day, because that person is going to wait, and I have a job. I can't always do Cosmic Crucible during the day, and I want to do my attacks in the evening. And I don't want to be thinking, oh, this guy's going to, well, one, he may not know what I'm about to do and copy me if we have similar teams, which is annoying because he might not know that works. It's fine if he sees it after. Fine. Yeah, learn some stuff. If you didn't know that worked, it's cool to see that after. But I don't like the disadvantage of not waiting until the last 30 minutes because other people are doing that. Every person I have faced so far this season waits until the last half hour.
I honestly, I love that they show the score. I love, I wish they would hide the teams that we use, but I love that they show the score because I want to attack early and often. I want to put pressure on whoever I'm going against. You got to match this. I feel like that's just as powerful as seeing oh, this is going to be easy. That's because, you know, if I'm going up against somebody, I've lost I've lost matches that I just knew I was going to win. And was it the stress? Was it RNG? I don't know. Maybe it was both, but I think it's fun. So I hear what you're saying, and I agree with part of it. You're probably right about all of it because you are a big fan of Squattie Potties. It's in the name. So closing us out on this conversation, it looks like the ride's getting bumpy over there for ValleyFlyin. Those asteroids are going by, and his little cockpit there is just shaking him all around. How you holding up over there, buddy?
Yeah. There's turbulence here. There's turbulence.
How you liking this season?
I like it better. I think the last one went too long. You know, I don't know if it's just the newness of it or that it's better, but I like doing it. I've gotten to like Crucible a lot more than I'm doing on a stream and having chat help me with it because. I was. It does get frustrating sometimes though when I'm doing it live. I'm like, you guys just told me to do this. What the heck? And it doesn't work. But usually I get a good advice. Juice is in chat now. He's the one that usually I follow.
Oh god.
But I've had more trouble with the unlimited X-Men rather than the Darkhold. The Darkhold, you know, you got a few different. I mean, the Wakanda, you just Darkhold that. You got a few different options. The unlimited X-Men. With the revives, that's been more problem for me. So I think the Masters of Evil will solve.
I mean, so the one thing I've found, so the big surprise to me is initially a lot of people were just going in with straight Gamma, and Gamma was working, but it was super inefficient. And then I don't know who it was that figured it out, but basically you pull out OG Hulk, you put in Dorm, and it's super easy. So basically that's OG Hulk.
That's what I've been using, but Dorky Dad said that at 1.3 that doesn't work anymore, and once they get to 1.3 million,
it has worked for me.
We're on the news video. Okay,
yeah, it has worked for me.
I don't. My teams aren't that high, so I don't know.
In defense, like in fairness, like the rest of my Gamma Dorm team is probably just as big. So like it's a punch across at 1.3. It's not a punch up.
You can't trust Dorky anyway. His D is not that impressive. We all know
and
that.
he also said that Scottie was quitting.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? So
can you not talk so dirty about my man?
That's a straight quote. That's a straight quote.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. He actually said that multiple times. His D's not that impressive, and a couple times his wife shook her head as she was walking by.
Oh, okay.
So just moving along. Okay. All right, so that's it, guys. This one went a little bit long, but great conversation. I really appreciate everybody's time. Thank you so much, Squattie Pottie Scottie. Thank you, Way Too Raw. SenRaven, you're the best. And, of course, none other than Braun himself. Valley Smash. Let's go. Everybody do a fist bump to close this out. Let's... Appreciate all you guys. Love y'all so much. Peace and love, everybody. If you haven't hit the follow button already, please do. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, transition.
All right,
let's go.
Let's give a thumbs up.
Woo. See, I told you I'm amazing at this. So good.
Like it. Oh, there's your sponsor again. I love it.
Yeah.
Sponsors the front, middle, and back.
Yeah, and then because I forget to say like and subscribe, I just added it there.